Hello, everybody. Welcome to part 8 of Justin's terrible attempt to predict the Democratic primary race. In the previous 7 parts, we looked at every single race individually, and I kind of made my back of the envelope prediction as to who would win what states and how many delegates each of them would receive. And these are the numbers we got. And I already factored in the super delegates more or less. I kind of just made a rough estimate. So we have just to have like a key. I'm gonna say I'm drawing on my screen right now. Biden is green. Sanders. This is terrible. If I could, is blue. Warren is red. This is really bad. Hang on. As you can see, I have no script here. I'm just kind of going with the flow. Is there an easier way to label them? The easiest way to label them would probably be to write it on the pie chart here. So we're gonna put B for Biden, S for Sanders, W for Warren, and P for Pete Buttigieg. Orange is Bloomberg. Statistically, he's not going to matter here very much. So, key here is that we enter the Democratic National Convention with no candidate with a majority. Biden's carrying about a little over a third, Sanders a little more or less a third. And so, contested convention shows nobody has a majority, we don't have a clear nominee. Now, the most likely scenario, and for Sanders supporters, the most hopeful one to get a progressive, is... wrong pen. Wrong pen. Okay. The most hopeful scenario for a progressive is to have Warren delegates, or Warren has her delegates. Can I do let's skip back. To pledge all of her delegates to Sanders. What if that happens? Well, we add that up. 1429 plus 698. And we get 2,127 delegates. That is not enough. Not enough. For Sanders to win a majority. However, if Biden gets Mayor Pete's delegates, that's already more than half. As you can see. Now let me erase Warren's to make it a little more clear. This is more than half. And so, if Pete Buttigieg pledges his delegates to Joe Biden, you come out with a Biden victory. Now, there are several caveats here. The first is it assumes that all of Mayor Pete's delegates go to Joe Biden. If we get, let me just check the number really quickly. The number of how many delegates do you need to? I calculated this in the beginning, but let me just do this really quickly again. Plus 698 plus 427 plus 50. Okay, so the magic number to win. Let me erase all this nonsense here. Let me just erase all of this. Magic number to victory is 2,266. The question for Sanders supporters, because clearly Joe Biden has a very reasonable path to victory here, and that's assuming he only wins this many delegates. If he wins more, he might not even have to win all of Mayor Pete's delegates. He doesn't even have to win all of Mayor Pete's. He just needs to win a few. Sanders, on the other hand, is at an even bigger disadvantage because, as we saw, if we add up what he and Warren carry together in this model, he has 2,127. In order to get a majority, he has to get 140 more or less 140. Is that reasonable? He'd have to take about a third of Pete's delegates. Is that likely? Not really. I don't see any way Mayor Pete pledges his delegates to Bernie Sanders. He's more ideologically similar to Joe Biden. So what are the takeaways? Takeaway number one is only, why am I writing this? I don't know why, but only Sanders and Biden have a real shot. I don't see any way Elizabeth Warren or Pete Buttigieg can get to victory here. The only way that happens is, I'm going to zoom out, is if there's some kind of disparity on this map that results in one of the winning. For example, let's say Buttigieg definitely carries Iowa, and let's say he carries New Hampshire, which is not impossible given the current data. Well, now he carries a lot of momentum moving in Nevada. Maybe he does break this 15% threshold here. Maybe he does. Advantage. Maybe he goes into Super Tuesday with a majority and can translate that momentum into black support, which is what Barack Obama did in 2008. Maybe Elizabeth Warren has a comeback, although this is extremely unlikely, and carries Iowa. Does better than expected in New Hampshire, and does better than expected in Nevada. Again, all of these can result in... Oh, I opened up Skype by accident. All of these can result in disparities, which can change this delegate outcome. However, the way it stands, Joe Biden has the most reasonable chance of winning the Democratic nomination. Just numbers-wise, he has that huge firewall in the South that prevents anyone from taking his total. And this isn't even taking into account the county level. And so on the county level, delegates are allocated. So it also depends on how well you can win individual counties. But yeah, so if you have watched every single video in this series, I applaud you. I look forward to reading the comments about how I got every single prediction wrong or was hilariously off. And I also look forward to seeing how this primary turns out, because this is going to be an interesting one. Yeah, maybe I will be wrong in all of my predictions. Maybe I'll be wrong in most of them. Maybe I'll get it right. Who knows? But anyway, don't take these numbers too seriously. Don't take anything on this channel too seriously. And thank you for watching this, I think, 8-part series on Justin attempting to predict the outcome of the Democratic primary. And I will catch you all later. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, one quick note that I want to say is, if some candidate decides to stay on longer than Iowa, let's say, I'll list a few possibilities. Let's say Klobuchar or Yang, and they win 140 delegates and give them to Sanders. That's an edge to Sanders. They can also give it to Biden and give Biden a bigger edge. So there are a lot of unknowns in this race that I did not take into account, nor do I want to take them into account. I'm not an analyst, but just something to think about. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching.